I had always prided myself on being an empathetic therapist, someone who could navigate the maze of the human mind with compassion and understanding. However, nothing in my years of practice had prepared me for the mystery that was Edgar Marlowe. Normally, I don't do house calls, but Edgar was persistent and he offered to pay more for the visit. It was down season, and I really needed the extra money. Edgar was a recluse, rarely venturing outside his dimly lit house nestled at the edge of town. My initial sessions with him had been challenging, his fears and anxieties veiled in a thick fog of paranoia. It became apparent that conventional therapy wasn't making much headway, so I decided to step out of the comfortable confines of my office and visit him at home. The first time I approached Edgar's house, a chill ran down my spine. The atmosphere was dense with an unnatural stillness, and the overcast sky only added to the sense of uneasiness. I hesitated for a moment before pressing the rusty doorbell. The door creaked open, revealing Edgar in the gloom of his dimly lit living room. The air inside was heavy with an odd, musty smell, and the walls seemed to close in on me. There is no doubt that I instantly regretted coming out here, however I brushed off my discomfort, reminding myself that I was here to help and I needed the money. Edgar welcomed me with a nod, gesturing for me to take a seat on the worn-out couch. "You can sit right here, Miss Lark. Excuse the mess. The cleaning lady hasn't been here for a while," he said as I took a seat on the couch. The dim lighting cast long shadows, creating an eerie ambiance that sent chills through me. I played it cool. I smiled and took my notes as we went along. As our session progressed, Edgar's stories grew increasingly bizarre, tales of shadowy figures dancing in the corners of his room and disembodied whispers that echoed through the house. "They haunt me, Miss Lark. I try to fight them out of my mind, but they just keep coming back," he said in a tone of distress. "How often do you see them, Edgar?" "As often as I want to," he replied, and I felt my hair rising on my skin, the chills now turning into goosebumps. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, that the very walls of the house held secrets they were reluctant to reveal. Determined to get to the root of Edgar's troubles, I suggested exploring the rooms where he felt the most uneasy. Reluctantly, Edgar agreed, leading me through narrow hallways adorned with faded wallpaper. The air grew colder as we delved deeper into the heart of his unsettling abode. The rooms were filled with antique furniture draped in dusty sheets, as though time had frozen in this peculiar place. I could understand why the housekeeper hadn't been here. Cleaning the house was the job for 10 men. As we reached the basement door, a heavy feeling settled in the pit of my stomach. Edgar unlocked the door with an old, rusted key, the hinges groaning in protest. The staircase spiraled down into darkness, the feeble light from above barely illuminating the steps. "Maybe we should go back," I said, feeling fear covering me. "Miss, don't you want to help me? You have to see to better understand me." I felt some pity for him and shame for myself for not being professional enough to handle this situation. The basement was a cavernous space filled with antique oddities, dusty trinkets, ancient books, and peculiar artifacts that seemed to whisper forgotten secrets. A flickering light bulb dangled from the ceiling, casting erratic shadows on the damp walls. Edgar's eyes gleamed with a strange intensity as he led me further into the abyss. The air grew thick with an otherworldly energy, and I couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching our every move. In the far corner of the basement, a dimly lit altar caught my eye. Strange symbols were etched into the floor, and a flickering candle cast an ethereal glow. My gaze was drawn to an ancient-looking book atop the makeshift altar, its pages filled with cryptic writings. Edgar approached the altar with reverence, his voice a hushed whisper as he spoke of a mysterious cult that he claimed was responsible for his torment. He insisted that these symbols held the key to understanding his plight. I tried to remain composed, assuring Edgar that we could work through his fears together. But as I turned to leave, a cold gust of wind extinguished the candle, plunging the basement into darkness. "Edgar!" I screamed. Panic set in as I fumbled for my phone, its feeble light revealing Edgar's silhouette, now distorted by an evil presence. The air grew heavy, and I felt an unseen force pressing against me. A guttural chant filled the air, and the basement seemed to come alive with whispered voices. I stumbled back up the stairs, my heart pounding, as the unsettling reality of Edgar's world collided with my own. I rushed out of that house, leaving the darkness and the secrets it held behind. The experience shook the foundations of my beliefs, challenging the boundaries between the rational and the supernatural. As I drove away, the silhouette of Edgar Marlowe lingered in my rearview mirror, a haunting reminder that some mysteries are better left untouched.